Assalamualaikum and very good day to everyone. Today, we are from Group 1 would like to make a group presentation about emerging issue sustainability analysis report on food and beverage industry. We are consist of 5 group member presented by KHAIRULIMAN, Muhammad AZIM, LUQMAN Nur FADZIL, NOR FASIHAH and NURIN CAMILIA SOFEA. Let's talk about introduction first. I will be sharing an overview of food and beverage industry in Malaysia. F&B industry is an integral part of the economy of the Malaysia where it supply necessary and create job in large quantity. The two major company in F&B that we'll be focusing into is Nestle Malaysia and Fraser and Neff Holding Berhad or FNN. Both companies are known for manufacturing and distributing dairy product, beverage and other foods items. They are key contributor to the Malaysian economy, playing an important role in job creation, public supply and business growth. Now, let's move on to the importance of sustainability reporting. Firstly, companies listed on Bursa Malaysia are required to follow the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance or MCCG and Bursa Sustainability Reporting Framework. This is to ensure that they disclose environmental, social and governance information to maintain transparency and responsible practice. Secondly, global standards like IFRS S1 and S2 introduced by the International Sustainability Standard Board help companies to align their reporting internationally. We will dive deep into these two IFRS in the next part. Lastly, sustainability reporting build trust, improve investor confidence and support long-term business value. So, as I said just now, what is IFRS? There are two parts which are IFRS S1 and S2. S1 focus on 4 general sustainability disclosure which are governance, risk management and sustainability strategy. Governance is about how the company manage sustainability accountability. For strategy is about how sustainability is included in the company's long-term planning. Risk management is about how sustainability risks are identified, assessed and mitigated. And lastly is metric and targets, which is about how companies track their sustainability goal using data. For IFRS S2, it focuses on climate-related risks such as flood and heat wave, as well as transition risks like policy change. It also requires companies to report their greenhouse gas emission and climate goals. Let's take a closer look at Nestle. Nestle has been operating in Malaysia since 1912, making it one of the oldest multinational companies in the country. It is headquartered in Petaling Jaya, Selangor and is listed on Bursa Malaysia. In terms of business activity, Nestle produces a well-known brands such as Milo, Nescafe, Maggi, covering dairy and culinary and nutrition segments. Company has a strong market presence with a high brand loyalty and export to over 15 countries. It also runs several manufacturing facilities across Malaysia. Financially, Nestle shows steady revenue and profit growth driven by product innovation, efficiency, and regularly dividend payout. Now, let's look at FNN Holding Berhad. FNN was established in 1961 and is headquartered in Shah Alam, Selangor. It is part of the FNN Limited Group based in Singapore and is also listed on Bursa Malaysia. FNN is mainly focused on the beverage and dairy segment with the popular products such as FNN Carbonated Drink 100+, Farmhouse Milk and Carnation. FNN holds a strong local and international market position, exporting to over 80 countries and operating an extensive distribution network across various sectors. Financially, FNN has demonstrated a consistent growth and its ongoing investment in automation and sustainability strengthen its profitability and competitive edge. Both Nestle and FNN are important players in Malaysia F&B industry. Their sustainability practice are not only help meet regulatory and global standard, but also support long-term financial strength and market leadership. So, moving on to the next part.
I will be presenting a comparison between Nestle Malaysia and FNN Holding in terms of their alignment with IFRS S1 and S2. We will look at 4 key areas which are governance, strategy, risk management and metric and targets. So let's start with the first area, governance. For the governance part, Nestle aligned with IFRS S1 and S2. The board of directors and CEO are directly involved in overseeing climate and ESG risks. This is supported by the Sustainability Steering Committee. Can refer to page 2 and 3 in Nestle Annual Report 2034. For FNN, it only partially aligns with IFRS climate oversight handled by Sustainability and Risk Management Committee, but it is not directly under the board. This information is on page 88 to 90 in the FNN Annual Report 2034. So next, for strategy, Nestle show full alignment with IFRS S2. The company has a clear net zero 2050 target and a climate roadmap that includes using electric trucks and improving packaging. So this is shown on page 8 and 9 of Nestle annual review. So meanwhile, FNN only partially aligns. The company focus more on halal certification and ESG rating. So, but there is no specific climate strategy or net zero target. So, this can refer to page 6 to 10 of annual FNN of the FNN annual report. Under risk management, Nestle aligned with IFRS S2. They identify both physical risk like floats and transition risks such as carbon tax and regulation changes. So these are mentioned in the Nestle Society report and annual review. For FNN, does not fully align. It has a general risk framework, but no detailed mention of climate-related risks. So it can refer to page 131 on FNN annual report. So finally, in terms of metric and targets, Nestle align with IFRS S2. They report Scope 1, Scope 2 and Scope 3 emission and have clear carbon reduction goals. So this information is available in the Nestle Society report. So FNN does not align because they do not report detailed greenhouse gas emission and do not have a net zero target. So this is based on their annual report. So to conclude that, Nestle show strong alignment with IFRS S1 and S2 in all four areas, which is governance, strategy, risk management, and metric and target. FNN, on the other hand, only partially aligns, especially lacking in strategy and reporting of climate risk and target.
Thank you, Fasihah, for the presentation just now. So let's move on to the financial statement analysis. Please bear in mind that all of the figures shown are already rounded up to the nearest thousand. We will analyze the profitability ratio first. Let's begin with net profit margin. Nestle recorded a net profit margin of 6.68%, meaning it earns RM6.68 profit for every 100 sales. For FNN, they had a higher margin of 10.38%, or meaning that they are gaining RM10.38 for every 100 sales. This shows that FNN has a better FNN is better at turning sales into profit, possibly because of better cost control, higher pricing, and lower operating expenses. Next is return on asset, which show how well a company uses its asset to generate profit. Nestle has ROA of 11.39%, indicating that they generate RM11.39 for every 900 ringgit of its assets, while for FNN, they has ROA of 9.94%, indicating they generate RM9.94 for every 100 of its asset. Nestle has higher ROA compared to FNN. This tells us that Nestle is more efficient in managing its asset to generate more income from its asset. This tells us that Nestle is more efficient in managing its asset to generate more income from the asset it owns. Now let's look at return on equity. Nestle recorded an essentially high ROE of 75.91%, while FNN was only 50.18%. This means that Nestle generated RM75.91 in profit for every 100 of shareholder equity, much more than FNN. The reason may be Nestle use higher financial leverage, in other words, more debt and less equity. which increase return but may also carry a higher financial risk. These profitability ratios are influenced by sustainability practice. Nestle has investors in renewable energy, efficient supply chains, and water-saving technology. This practice help reduce operational costs and improve investors' confidence, which leading to better ROA and ROE. Moreover, Nestle's transparent reporting and brand commitment to environmental and social goals attract both consumer and investor, reinforcing its strong financial performance. Meanwhile, for FNN focus on cost-saving sustainability such as reducing solid waste to landfill by over 50%, using solar panel to cut energy expenses, and lowering greenhouse gas emissions. This effort directly lower their expenses, which directly support its higher net profit margin. Let's now explore efficiency ratio. The first one is asset turnover. Asset turnover tells us how much a revenue of company earns per 1 ringgit of its assets. Nestle has ratio of 1.71%, while FNN has only 0.96%. This shows that Nestle is more efficient in using its asset to generate revenue, likely due to a stronger market presence and operational productivity. Next is inventory turnover. Nestle replaced its inventory 5.22 times per year compared to 4.76 times for FNN. This means that Nestle has a faster moving inventory, which indicates stronger demand and better stock management. Nestle's efficient operations are backed by sustainability efforts such as implementing smarter inventory system and enhanced logistics to reduce waste and lower transportation emission. This effort contribute to faster inventory movement and more productive use of assets. Additionally, by adopting clean energy and water-saving technology in production, Nestle reduced downtime and improved asset productivity, which support its high asset turnover. Altogether, Nestle's forward-thinking sustainability strategy not only reduces environmental impact but also directly strengthens its operational efficiency. For FNN, although it's slightly slower compared to Nestle, it still benefits from sustainability practice aimed to add cost control and waste reduction. FNN emphasized actions such as installing solar panel, reducing solid waste by over 50%, and improving production processes. These initiatives help lower costs and reduce environmental harm, and also focus on long-term cost saving rather than rapid turnover. FNN may prioritize stable production and minimization of waste over rapid inventory movement. While its efficiency ratio are lower, its sustainability effort still play a key role in keeping operations smooth and reducing waste in the processes. So, as of 2 ratio, we can see that both companies show a strong financial performance but in different areas. FNN leads in profit margin while Nestle is more efficient in using asset and equity. Most importantly, that their sustainability practice is directly support this outcome, proving that their responsibility business can lead to a stronger performance.
Thank you, Azim. For Nestle, the current ratio is 0.5463. This means that for every RM 1 ringgit, Nestle owes in the short term, it only has RM 0.55 cents in current asset. That is not enough to cover its short-term obligations and shows a weak liquidity position. It also signals possible cash flow issues if Nestle has to pay urgent debts. In comparison, FNN has a current ratio of 2.4628. This means for every RM 1 ringgit, it owes FNN has RM 2 ringgit and 46 cents in current asset, more than enough to cover short-term debts. This shows that FNN has a strong and healthy liquidity. So, in summary, FNN is in a stronger short-term financial position than Nestle. The data shows that FNN managed its liquidity better, reducing the risk of delays or relying on outside funding. Next, we look at the quick ratio, which removes its inventory from current assets to see how quickly a company can pay debts without selling stock. For Nestle, the quick ratio is only 0.2025. That means after removing inventory, Nestle only has 20 cents in quick assets for every RM 1 ringgit it owes. This is very risky because it shows Nestle depends a lot on inventory or other funding to pay its short-term debts. If an urgent bill comes up, Nestle may struggle to pay it without selling stock. Meanwhile, FNN's quick ratio is 1.7645. Even without inventory, FNN has RM1.76 in quick assets for every RM1 it owes. That shows strong short-term financial strength, and FNN can settle urgent payments easily without needing to sell inventory. In short, FNN shows much stronger short-term liquidity, especially when inventory is excluded. Nestle low quick ratio shows higher risk, especially in urgent or emergency situations. So, to answer question of is it the company meet short-term obligation, including sustainability-related costs. First, Nestle Malaysia has current ratio of 0.55 and a quick ratio of 0.20. This means that the company does not have enough short-term assets to cover its short-term debts. At first glance, this may seem risky, but actually, Nestle is choosing to spend more on long-term sustainability projects. Between 2022 and 2024, Nestle invested RM1 billion in green efforts like planting trees through Project Relief, switching to electric trucks, and using biomass energy in their factories. They are also active in community programs like Care Time and Project Safe. These projects cost a lot in the short term, but they help build trust, protect the environment, and support long-term success. So, even though Nestle liquidity looks low, it shows they are serious about sustainability and are investing for the future. In contrast, FNN has a much stronger position. Their current ratio is 2.46 and quick ratio is 1.76. This means they have more than enough short-term assets to pay short-term debts. At the same time, FNN is also committed to sustainability, but with a focus on the cost saving and efficiency. For example, they have reduced landfill waste by 54%, installed solar panels at their factories, and used internal carbon pricing to prepare for future risks. Because of this, FNN can handle sustainability costs while keeping their cash flow strong. So, in summary, Nestle is investing big in the long term, even if it affects short-term cash. FNN has strong short-term finances and manages sustainability through smart cost-saving methods.
Okay, I will continue by presenting a comparative financial analysis of two leading companies, Nestle and Fraser and Neves Holding Berhad, or we know as FNN, focusing on their leverage ratios and how this impact their sustainability initiative. Let's begin with the debt to equity ratio. Nestle ratio is significantly high at 5.67. This means for every 1 ringgit of equity, Nestle employs 5 ringgit 67 cents of debt. While this indicates high financial leverage and potentially greater risks, it also suggests the company is actively financing expansion. In contrast, FNN has a much lower debt to equity ratio of 0.53, implying a more conservative financial approach with stronger equity backing. This reflects lower financial risk and greater long-term stability. FNN is more conservative and financially stable, while Nestle taken on more debt, which can be riskier but may support faster growth. Now, let's examine how comfortably each company can meet its interest obligations. Nestle boasts an interest coverage ratio of 9.49, meaning its earning rate before interest and taxes are nearly 9.5 times its interest expenses, an indicator of good financial health. FNN outperformed here with a stellar ratio of 19.54. This reflects an even stronger capacity to meet interest payments, underscoring its low financial risk profile. Here is where things get more strategic. Nestle, despite its higher leverage, is self-funding major sustainability initiatives like 1 million ringgit investment in electric trucks, biomass boilers, and Project Relief. Its moderate interest coverage still allows it to take on green projects with confidence. Meanwhile, FNN used a balanced mix of equity and debt to fund targeted sustainability efforts. Its 18.5 million ringgit solar initiative and recyclable packaging programs are excellent examples. backed by a strong interest coverage ratio and over 1 billion ringgit in cash reserve. FNN ensures these projects are financially sound. As I explained, we can see both companies demonstrate strong financial management. But with different approaches, Nestle pursue high leverage growth while still backing large-scale green investment. And FNN maintains stability using its strength to fund meaningful, community-driven sustainability projects.
Thank you, KHAIRULIMAN. Now, let's move to the evolution of reporting quality. Let's begin with comprehensiveness, where we assess the scope and type of disclosure. Nestle Berhad clearly disclose both financial and non-financial information. Financial disclosure are found in the Corporate Governance and Financial Report 2024 covering detailed statements, capital expenditure and also share performance. Non-financial disclosure are well documented in the Annual Review 2024 with strong quantitative data such as 2.1 million trees planted through Project Relief, 1/3 reduction in virgin plastic usage compared to 2018 and also over 20,000 tons of plastic waste collected via Project Save. Although these are indirect financial figures, they tie back to operational efficiency, brand reputation, and also risk management. It shows a clear connection to financial performance. Nestle also integrates its ESG agenda into business strategy, with audit and risk committee overseeing alignment with IFRS 1 and 2, reinforcing integration of sustainability-related financial information into governance. While FNN also report both financial and non-financial elements, financially, the Annual Report 2024 includes a 5-year group financial summary, profit before tax, and also other key ratio. Non-financially, their sustainability statement on page 142 affirm their commitment to a responsible business, mentioning initiatives like internal carbon pricing and broad-based ESG training for the board. However, detailed environment metrics like GHG emission were not seen in the section review. The report refers readers to a separate sustainability report 2024, suggesting a split approach. So, while both companies present a mix of financial and non-financial disclosure, Nestle reports provides more explicit quantitative environmental data, where while FNN is non-financial performance is more detailed in an external document. Now, moving on to clarity, we evaluate language, readability, structure, and also navigation. Nestle used formal, detailed, and engaging language. Its Annual Review 2024 effectively explained their sustainability goals in a captivating way. The report features well-defined section, an intuitive table of content, and digital icon that link to other reports. Enhanced navigation. They also highlight a digital-first approach with the annual reporting suite. FNN use professional, straightforward, and clear language. The shared message is concise and also easy to understand. Their report has clear section and refers user to their sustainability report for more ESG details, reflect a streamlined approach. Both reports are clear and accessible. Nestle stands out slightly for its digital integration and multi-document structure, while FNN maintains clarity through a consolidated format. Next, let's look at comparability, particularly their consistency over time. Nestle shows reporting consistency in financial reporting and ongoing project over time by tracking long-term initiatives like Project Relief, ongoing since 2020 and aligned financial years in both the Annual Review and CGFR. FNN similarly present a 5-year financial summary demonstrating consistency. Their Annual Report 2024 highlight a forward-thinking, value-driven strategy, reinforcing long-term commitment. Both companies maintain consistent financial reporting. However, for non-financial comparability, a review of previous sustainability reports would be needed. Next, on external framework, Nestle adopts the GRI standards with a double materiality approach. Although SASB and TCFD are not directly named, their alignment with IFRS S2 implies adherence to TCFD principle. FNN also used GRI and complies with main market listing requirement. Their alignment with TCFD support their shift to IFRS 2 even if SASB is not mentioned. Both companies use GRI and demonstrate multi-framework alignment. Nestle provide more direct IFRS and global reporting alignment while FNN shows progressive development. Now, let's assess IFRS S1, which is a general requirement. Nestle explicitly states alignment, and in its annual review 2024, the Audit and Risk Committee ensure adherence to both IFRS 1 and 2 with GRI standards. The CGFR 2024 confirmed that the Audit and Risk Committee oversees adherence to international standards including IFRS S1 and 2. The report covers governance structure, climate risk assessment, and also ESG update in board meeting. FNN also shows proactive steps which board and management training on IFRS standards indicates a proactive approach to adoption. Their board activity demonstrate alignment with governance, strategy and risk component of IFRS 1. Both companies address IFRS 1. However, Nestle demonstrate clearly committee level oversights and direct reference to IFRS 1 in its framework. Next, under IFRS S2, which is climate related, Nestle lists IFRS S2 as a reporting framework in its annual review. Their CGFR confirm oversight of climate strategy by the Audit and Risk Committee. A climate risk assessment was done based on employee travel data and broader climate impact. Explicitly listed as a reporting framework includes discussion on accurate emission calculation and climate risk assessment. FNN aligns with the TCFD framework, which is incorporated into IFRS 2. Their introduction of internal carbon pricing shows readiness for transition, disclosure, and emission management. Both companies show strong commitment. Nestle explicitly states IFRS 2 compliance with FNN alignment is indirect through TCFD and emerging initiative. To summarize, both companies, which is Nestle and FNN, show strong commitment to sustainability reporting. However, Nestle Berhad leads in terms of comprehensiveness, IFRS alignment, and integration of financial and non-financial disclosure, while FNN shows solid effort and progression, especially through its TCFD alignment and internal initiative.
Next, I'll be presenting 3 key challenges and 3 opportunities faced by Nestle Malaysia in adopting the IFRS S1 and S2 sustainability standards based on their Corporate Governance and Financial Report 2024. So, for the first main challenge from Nestle is difficulty reporting Scope 3 emissions. The first major challenge is reporting Scope 3 greenhouse gas emissions. These emissions don't come directly from Nestle factories. They come from outside activities like employees committing and transportation by suppliers. On page 29 of the report, Nestle highlights that collecting accurate data for this emission is complex and difficult to estimate. This makes it hard to meet IFRS S2 requirements, which expect transparency on climate-related risks across the full value chain. So, for the opportunity, using employee committing surveys to address this challenge, Nestle turned to a simple and a practical solution. They conducted employee committing surveys. This approach allows them to collect more accurate data from their workforce, which help improve the quality of their Scope 3 emission reporting. Again, this is shown on page 29, where they outline this effort as a part of their climate risk assessment. So the challenge of limited data become an opportunity for a better staff engagement and a smarter data collection. The second challenge from Nestle is regulatory complexity. Nestle isn't just following IFRS S1 and S2. They also have to comply with the National Sustainability Reporting Framework and Bursa Malaysia's Climate Reporting Metric. As stated on page 29, this creates a challenge in aligning and harmonizing all the different formats, expectations, and disclosures. So, Nestle's strong sustainability governance. To manage this complexity, Nestle benefits from a robust governance structure. On page 11, the report highlights that the company's sustainability efforts are led by the dedicated head of sustainability under the guidance of the CEO and the board of directors. This leadership structure allows Nestle to align all reporting requirements more smoothly and ensures decisions are made at the highest level. So, the third challenge is the need for strong internal system to support sustainability reporting. Nestle must integrate their processes with technical international standards like ISO 14001 for environmental management and ISO 27001 for data security. These standards require a high level of monitoring, documentation, and compliance as explained on the page 38 of the report. So, leveraging ISO standards for better reporting, but Nestle turns this challenge into an opportunity. Instead of treating ISO as a burden, they integrate it into their overall reporting process. This makes their ESG data more structured, credible, and audit ready. By using ISO framework, Nestle improved the overall quality and trustworthiness of its sustainability disclosures, which is essential for meeting IFRS S1's emphasis on internal control.
Now we continue by presenting a strategic overview of Fraser and Neve Holding Berhad FNN approach to climate governance and sustainability reporting, with a focus on both opportunity and challenges as they align with international standards such as IFRS S1 and S2. Opportunity number 1 is FNN is aligning with TCFD framework to strengthen its climate-related disclosure. This step not only support future complying with IFRS S2, but also enhance transparency in climate governance, strategy, and risk management. This alignment allows stakeholders and investors to better gauge the financial implication of climate risk on FNN operation, positioning the company as a forward-looking responsible corporate leader. However, FNN must also manage rising stakeholder expectations and rapidly evolving ESG reporting standards. The company faces increasing pressure to disclose more deeply on topics like human rights, halal insurance, and environmental impact. Meeting these expectations requires ongoing system upgrade and strong engagement with stakeholders. Now we move to the second opportunity. FNN is strengthening leadership capacity by training its board and management on ESG topics and IFRS standards. This investment knowledge enables better decision-making aligned with sustainability goals. Another key move is FNN has implemented an internal carbon pricing mechanism, driving climate-conscious strategies across the business. Despite progress, FNN is still navigating the internal learning curve around IFRS S1 and S2 as a challenge. Leadership training is underway, but the journey requires more structured programs to ensure consistent understanding and execution across all levels. Opportunity number 3 is FNN carbon pricing system is not just symbolic. It actively supports the company IFRS S2 goals by quantifying climate-related risks and guiding emissions reduction decisions. This approach embeds ESG responsibility deeper into the company DNA, supported by ongoing leadership training and ESG strategy development. That said, full integration of ESG metrics, especially IFRS aligned ones, remain a work in progress. FNN has taken early steps like conducting climate risk assessment and applying internal carbon pricing. Still, there is a challenge. Scaling these efforts to across all departments will be critical to achieving a truly sustainable and compliant organization.
So that's all from us. Thank you for watching this video.